Everyone, I got the entire team from Furnace Fest with me today for an episode of my podcast, Danfonce Talks Metal. And I'm stoked to have you guys here because this lineup is absolutely incredible. And I think it blew everyone away. So how are you all doing? Mike, we got Mike. Well, let me introduce everybody. We got Mike in the top left corner, Johnny in the top right corner, Chad in the bottom left, and then Ryan in the bottom right. Guys, how are you?
Good. You got Rosie all over this. That's cool.
Yeah, I gotta have Rosie.
Yeah, I'm trying to start it.
Is it not
But
starting?
of course, all I hear is myself double up.
Oh, the bottom left corner of the video. If you there should be a mute
Yeah.
button.
Like, oh, nice. There it is. Well, I'm doing good. Stoked to be here. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, man. This is
Sick layout.
thank you. Right?
Yeah,
It's not just like it's not just a typical Zoom call.
Yeah.
I love the poster hanging on the
I got
wall.
exactly got your logo right there.
Yeah, thanks.
It's cool, man.
That is cool.
So, I guess we can start with. I mean, it'd be cool. It would be good to know like more about the history of the festival and kind of like where it all started and whose like idea it was. And I know this is going back in time here, like 20 years. When was the first Furnace Fest? What year?
Yeah, 20. I mean, almost 21 years now. So
Right?
2000.
2000.
Yeah. Johnny, were both you and Ryan at that first year?
Yeah, I went to every year. So
I was there. Yep.
Yeah, so that's crazy that three of us on this call. Sorry, Mike.
I don't even think I was in Texas yet at that time.
Yeah.
2000, probably not, right?
No, I was in California.
But yeah, I mean, it was really just, I think it was a couple of things for me. It was a Furnace Fest, the idea behind it. Well, one, when I scoped out the venue, that moment, it like being there on the grounds at that space, that it is such a weird, such a unique, bizarre kind of place that I just felt like, okay, this is like, we have to do something on the basis of the uniqueness of this venue alone. And I was putting on shows, like a very small fledgling show promoter guy. And so Furnace Fest was kind of the, like, what if we did a festival? What if we, try, and I was trying to run a record label. So it was like, what if we brought all these bands in? But really it was just, let's bring together a lot of different styles and kind of bands for a weekend. And let's just enjoy each other and music together and see what happens.
That's I mean, that's the way to do it, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy to think that here we are 20.
I know.
Over 20 years later.
Because Lost Furnace has like a lot of history too. Like it's haunted, right? Or something. I read the other day. I had no idea about this.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, it's creepy. Like
It is.
I mean,
so I never been to a Furnace Fest, so I have no clue.
Yeah, Johnny or Ryan, do either of you want to speak to the creep factor? Do you have any creepy stories? Any ghost stories?
I don't have any stories, but if you go to YouTube and just type in Sloss Furnace, there's so many ghost TV shows and
really
shows that have covered like stuff there.
Dude,
so it's definitely featured as like one of like the main haunted houses in America.
It's
definitely I gotta look that up after this.
Yeah, it's a great music venue, but there's a ton of history there too as well. I mean, it's an old furnace and there's a lot of crazy videos online as well. We've snuck in at night and as teenagers.
Yeah, of course.
It's really creepy. We'll take you on a tour late one night.
We got to.
Yeah.
Dan, I think a great question for you to ask Johnny would be how many of the 4 years that he attended did he actually pay to attend? I can count on two hands how many times I actually paid to get into a show, period. So it was a thing. Like, how can I sneak into this show or to this festival? I do remember sneaking into Slipknot one night at Sloss and getting caught, but
really,
and the security guard was just like, "Fine, man, just go." So,
Fine, just go. I don't care.
yeah.
So obviously
That's
Johnny
fine.
will be the head of security on this and make sure
Yeah,
that
he's gonna.
the future, the
Sounds
new
like Warped Tour security.
2021 Johnnies can't sneak in.
Hey kids, I
All the
know
full
every
guard, all
point
the
of entry, okay? I know every point of entry, so don't try to sneak in.
It's like what Warped Tour? You just walk in there. Remember the one in Dallas? They didn't even check anything. I just like walked in. It's like, okay, that's fine. Sorry, Kevin Lyman. I did have my pass. It was just in my pocket. So it all started with you, Chad. It was like your idea, essentially, at the time.
Yeah. I mean, it was. I mean, and never did I imagine it becoming what it has today. But yeah. I mean, it was in. I don't know. I guess for lack of a better or a sexier way to say it, it was a marketing endeavor for Take Hold Records. It was like, how do I get Under Oath, 238, Few Left Standing, some of these bands together with the Dillingers, the Hatebreeds, the Newfound Glories. And I didn't see there being any possibility of that happening other than a show that maybe combined them, and then the festival thing. I think around that same time, it was like Crazy Fest was huge, Hellfest was huge.
Hellfest was big, yeah.
You know, there were some other ones that kind of inspired me to take this kind of a leap.
Yeah.
But I mean, Furnace Fest lost money every single year. It was a very
Oh wow, really?
very, very DIY mom and pop. I mean, it was not professionally run. I had no clue what I was doing. I think, I don't think we paid a single band more than $5,000. And when they asked for hotels and sent in riders and like wanted specific things, it was just kind of like, I don't even know what language you're speaking. Like, here, we have bottles of water and pizza. So
this is what we got for you.
Right.
When I was asking Chad like what past attendance was and stuff and looking at pictures and he would tell me numbers, I was like, there's no way, like so many of these people just snuck in. Like you did so many more numbers than you thought, because those pictures are just madness.
Dude,
yeah, Johnny
really,
was
though.
just with a flashlight out back, just waving, it was like,
You
here
got
it is.
$5, you got $5, all right, you're in.
Yep. Yeah, give me $5. I'll show you the way in.
He had underground tunnels. He had it going.
Literal underground tunnels.
Yeah. So who like the first Furnace Fest? Who were like who were like the big bands on it that year? Was it 20?
Johnny or Ryan? Do you guys remember? I think it was.
Yeah, that was the first night was Dillinger Escape Plan. That was the first time I ever saw him.
Damn.
And the next night was Strong Arm Reunion, which
Strong Arm Reunion.
Strong played right before them. So that was probably my favorite hardcore show of all time.
Wow.
Strong Arm back to back. The place just went crazy.
It went insane. Yeah, it was amazing.
That's wild. So when did Johnny and Ryan? When did you guys come into the mix? Was it during the first Furnace Fest or afterwards?
No. Yeah, no. I've known Chad since I was 15, actually. So going to shows at Slacker 66, and then going buying patches and stickers and cassette tapes and CDs from his little store that he had. So. And
that's awesome.
And so known each other for a really long time, and so I, if we're thinking back to the olden days, Chad was responsible for so much cool stuff that happened in punk and hardcore, especially in Birmingham. And so it was really neat just to kind of see how he juggled not only his love for music, but faith as well, and how he was super accepting of all these different groups and would have all these different bands playing together. So, man, I always had a great deal of respect for Chad. And so, but
other than sneaking into every one of my shows, and
I was gonna say he's going on and on.
Hey man, at least he bought.
I never paid for the show.
I didn't pay for the show, but I bought my CDs.
That's true.
Hey man, he supported in another way.
Absolutely. So but we kept in touch, and so I think every few years I would hit Chad up. He's like, "Hey man, 10 years later, let's do a reunion." And his exact words were, "No way, I'm never doing that." So, but yeah, we talked a couple of times, and then I think it was around 18 years out. It was like 20 years, man. That's pretty cool. Let's talk about that, and let's possibly do that. And then of course Ryan's bugging him in Nashville. I'm bugging him in Birmingham. And so
they really were the like double whammy of constant Furnace Fest nagging. I mean, just to give you perspective, and Mike can attest to this, like when we first all agreed to move forward with Furnace Fest, we had so little confidence, or at least I had so little confidence, that the best thing I could come up with was a Kickstarter campaign where tickets for the 3 days would be $99. And our hope, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think our goal was like to sell 200 or 300 tickets as like, if we could do that, that would be such a huge start. And then we'd have some confidence to step into it. And thankfully Mike was
yeah, it was so wild for me to come in as somebody that's been doing festivals for the last like 10, 12 years and hear Chad being like, we need to do a Kickstarter and we need to do this. I'm like, dude, when you announced this, like this was something that I had heard of, but was like, I never got to attend it because I was not only too young, but like the first 2 years I was living in California and then I was in high school in Texas. Like my mom's not going to let me go to Birmingham.
Yeah.
But like he's talking about like this Kickstarter. I was like, Chad, let's try this out. Let's see what we can do. Let's go on sale.
So you talked him out of it.
We have to go. Yeah. I was like, if we have to go backwards. And it's kind of funny because like I was like, man, I have no idea like why these guys reached out to me. Like, this is so cool. Like I've known Chad for years and obviously I didn't know Ryan or Johnny yet, but I was like, man, I don't know. They seem to kind of have it all together. And then as soon as we like start going through details and stuff, I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. Like there's so many things that like wouldn't have been thought about. And it was kind of funny doing the Clubhouse chat the other day because Chris from Under Oath was on it and a few other people. And they were kind of like, they're like, we kind of thought Chad was crazy. And then we heard that Zemer was involved and we're like, okay, this is like a real thing. Like, because Under Oath has played So What and all that.
Oh, yeah.
And like, it was just, and not to discount anything that Chad's ever done or knows how to do. It's just that it was so DIY back in the day. There's no,
it's been so long.
Hardly security. Like you have like kind of everything about it reminds me of the Plano Center, where you have like this moment in time and no one understands what's going on. You don't realize how many people
early on.
Yeah, like you don't realize how many people are there. You don't realize the chaos that's going on. You're like, cool, I booked these bands, and like same with me. Like I got to put the bands I managed on the main stage before like All Time Low and Chiodos and stuff like that. So it was cool. But like the way the whole dynamic has come together, and like all four of us, like it's the coolest festival building experience for me, because usually I'm just like the boss, and it's like even with Orlando's input and stuff, he's usually just like, yeah, that's cool, let's book that artist, and like no one's ever really been like, hold on, like we all four have to agree on this, let's make sure. And so like the whole dynamic here has been really cool, and it's weird talking to them every day and feeling like we're all friends when we've only all hung out once, but like it's just like that, you know. It's cool.
No, that is fucking rad.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, and maybe I think for all of us, when we announced the first band, which was a Beloved Reunion, that's when I knew. I was like, okay, that I have grossly underestimated the potential that Furnace Fest still has.
Yeah, when you announced Beloved, I was just like,
I'm guilty as charged.
Are you serious?
Right. At that point, it was like, oh, oops, wow, I did not see that one coming.
Yeah.
But yeah, very, very.
It's crazy.
Excited to be here.
All right, Mike, I think you froze.
Yeah, and I'm having a weird sound thing going on.
Yeah, what is that sound? Oh, he said his Zoom reset in the chat. All right, then he should be able to just join back in.
Chad looks frozen now.
Is Chad frozen?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, wait.
There he is.
There, it's catching up. Zoom can be up. We lost Mike, but he'll come back.
It's going to happen to all of us, I'm sure.
Chad, can you hear us? I can't hear you. Go down the bottom left corner where it says mute and select your mic.
Weird.
There we go.
I have this fancy mic.
Oh, look at you.
that my audio should be coming through, but for some reason it's not working. So we're just getting straight Apple.
Oh, okay.
Apple computer mic.
All right, you can hear us though, right?
Loud and clear.
Cool. Well, we'll wait for. Oh man, We'll wait for Mike to get back in here, then I can fix everyone's camera, but it's all good. It happens sometimes.
Nice.
Someone said I would have come if it was just Beloved.
Yeah. I saw
Yo,
that.
yeah. I mean,
and that,
to be honest, yeah.
and I think that
I
was
love
the kind
that
of
fucking band, dude.
yeah, that was the kind of reaction that we started hearing, and that's when it clicked.
Yeah.
And just like, whoa, this. But it's also when the pressure started building. Like, okay, now we're getting some eyeballs on this, and people seem really excited. How do we raise the bar from there?
Yeah, I mean, really though, was that the first band you guys talked to, or were there was multiple?
Yeah.
I know you reached out to Zao, right, Ryan?
Yeah, I had
You
talked to probably 10 bands at that point. But like they were one of the first ones that just said, yes, we're in, let's do it.
Beloved
And-
was?
Yeah.
Beloved, yeah. They were one
Wow.
of the first live bands that was just like, we totally want to play.
That's fucking
But
nuts.
that was cool to have them jump on because they've been going for about 15, 16 years now. So a lot of these
Yeah.
reunions, other bands, it was like 10 years ago they broke up and stuff, but Beloved's been gone for a long time. They were kind of just an early 2000s band.
Yeah.
So many people never got a chance to see them play.
Yeah,
So they
no,
got excited.
that is wild. Hold on, here's Mike. Let's get him back in. And come on, Zemi.
You can do it.
Oh, where'd he go? It was just working.
Started and then just
Oh,
ran out.
I'm gonna do it again. I'm bringing him back in. There we go.
Jeez.
There you. Okay, we can hear you.
Nice, dude.
And there's your video. All right, we're back.
Our entire office internet just like decided to shit out, and I thought
Oh,
this was
that's
going to be
great.
the best one.
Don't we always think that? Mine does that shit sometimes too.
Beloved's concerned though, man. We
Yeah.
all thankfully putting on this festival, we can go, okay, what are my 5 dream bands? What are your 5 dream bands? There were really 2 bands. I mean, look, every single one of them we're so stoked to have, but
For
there were 2
sure.
of them that was on everybody's list, and it was Beloved and Stretch Armstrong. So the fact that we got those guys to come is truly amazing, and we're all super stoked about it.
It took a minute to get Stretch, right? I feel
They
like,
took some- there was
yeah,
some
I feel like
convincing.
Ryan was
Yeah, they
telling me
played-
like we're waiting on Stretch. We're trying to get Stretch Armstrong or something. I
Yeah.
believe it was you, Ryan, and I was like, oh, that one's probably, yeah,
It
take a
was
minute.
several months of going around and around with them. And
Yeah.
They weren't sure if they'd be interested. And some of the guys were on board, some were unsure. And they eventually came around. And like out of all the people on our Facebook page that were requesting bands, Stretch was the number 1 most requested
That's
band.
Literally
Yeah.
all I saw in the comments.
And then Poison the Well was probably number 2 most requested band. So
Number
the fact that
3,
we scored both of them.
Number 3,
Yeah.
number
Strong
6,
Arm, number 2.
Strong Arm.
Strong
Yeah.
Arm.
Strong Arm, yeah.
Yeah,
So, but we weren't able to orchestrate that one. Don't think we didn't try though, like 15 different times. So we did our best, guys.
Yeah, we did.
almost got him.
Yeah.
This is a good question. I was going to ask this one too. Were there other bands you wanted to have on the festival, but things didn't work out? I guess.
Oh man, I'm gonna
mean,
count.
How
I'm
many?
gonna count on our Google sheet and see if I can do it quickly. How many bands we actually approached at some level that we didn't. So I'm gonna start at row 106 to 172, and then there's another group starting at row 175. So that's about 70 bands.
What?
175 to row 225 is another batch. So that's whatever that is, another 50 or something bands. And then there's another row starting at 229 all the way to 286. So, I mean, probably 150 artists that we approached at some or considered, you know.
Are these like a lot of these bands are they like not a band anymore?
Well, I'll just read
or-
a few.
Yeah.
Bouncing Souls, Minus the Bear,
man.
Glassjaw.
Ah,
Well, some of these we did get. Mastodon, Hatebreed, Seos, and there's quite a few, Jimmy World, there was quite a few bands that we had hoped would be here, and it just for one reason or another didn't work. And
Yeah.
I guess looking back on it, you don't get 84 or however many yeses without also having 150 plus no's to go with it. And at the end of the day, I couldn't be more thrilled with what we've been able to build.
yeah.
But yeah, there's a long list of not fails, but just not feasible.
Yeah, no.
Tried for
There was a lot
things
of
from, like Botch, Coalesce, and
Oh,
Dylan
right.
Dude, if you
Plan.
guys got botched, that
They-
would have been legendary.
would've been amazing.
We tried. Anybody that was cool that's been broken up, we definitely tried.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's a lot of
man.
bands on that list that were like pitched by agents and stuff, and we kind of
Yeah.
discussed and then didn't get. But I know there's like a handful of bands that like they've discussed over and over again. Some that I've never even heard of that they were like, oh, we got to get this. And like the more I look at social media, the more like all these people are requesting it and stuff.
Yeah.
So
What's-
Dan, if you had to pick one band
Oh,
that
God.
is not on the lineup that you really, really, really
Oh, really?
wish were playing, who would that be?
It would probably be Botch. Straight
Nice,
up.
okay,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
good.
It would have been
Yeah.
Botch. So I never got
Botch
to
would've
see
been-
them. And you
Yeah, me
know,
neither.
yeah, it was like I remember when I found out about Norma Jean when I was younger, and then someone showed me Botch, and they were like, "Yo, Botch!" Like Norma Jean was inspired by this, I guess, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, "Who the heck is Botch?" And then I got showed Botch, and I was like, "Oh man,
Yep.
this is it right here," you know. So
So
I was
good.
hooked on them, and I never got to see them. You know, I saw Norma Jean a good amount of times, even with Josh. And I love Norma Jean. I wish Norma Jean was playing. Well, no, they are playing. What am I talking about, right?
No, they're
No,
not.
Oh,
So
no,
you're
they're
right.
not. Oh,
Yep. Yep, you're right.
So, this is another good question. I kind of had a similar one written down from Dear OL. What is the greatest challenge you faced when putting this festival together,
That one.
other than the uncertainty because of the pandemic? So
Wow.
aside
Yeah,
from
other
the
than that,
pandemic
aside from
crap, yeah.
And probably that's probably different with each one of us. But you know, for me, it's very different than 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's just we're not a big promotion group. We're not a big company. We're four guys who are passionate about music, passionate about punk rock and hardcore,
Yeah.
and really just want to put on an amazing event. And so that, you know, that's really cool in some ways, but in some other ways it's really risky. And so, but for me, you know, one of the biggest scary things about this thing is just now the sheer like amount of money that it costs to put this thing on. And then as well, we've got 80 something bands that we've got to take care of.
It's a lot.
And then you're going to have, you know, however many people end up coming. You know, we all feel a great responsibility to not only put on an amazing event, but to also take care of every single person that comes through that gate. Because for us,
Yeah.
it's just not a concert. It's just not a festival.
Yeah, it's more than
For
that.
us, each one of us have been, and this sounds so cheesy, but each one of us have been so like deeply impacted by the punk and hardcore scene, and
Yeah.
still to this day at 41 have a great love for the punk and hardcore scene. And so
Yeah.
we put on a great event, and like it's the community that means the most to us. And so we feel a huge responsibility to take care of every single person. So we're trying to do our best to put the best event on, but at the end of the day, we're just four dudes who are just loving what we're doing, but you know, it's in some ways scared to death.
Yeah,
So,
scared
yeah.
the shit.
Yep. Yeah, I guess just adding to that, I would say time. You know,
Yeah.
time has been, because all of us have other. This Furnace Fest is a side hustle for all four of us. It is
For
not
sure.
it's not the primary revenue source
Mhm.
or career path, and so I think just knowing what Johnny said, wanting this to be better than anybody expects it to be, and that it lives up to the hype, and even more so, and that there is a level of responsibility and a level of pressure
Yeah.
that comes with that. And I think just the time it takes to make sure everybody's been cared for and questions have been answered and
Mhm.
responses have been made. And, you know, today it's like, hey, can we get some passes for this band? It's like, well,
Yeah.
not just deleting an email like, oh, we'll worry about that later, but actually I feel like we,
Like take the time. Yeah.
yeah, I'd like to just pause and honor these guys. I feel like any little thing that comes up pretty much always crosses all of our paths, and we all talk about it and work on it until we've come up with a solution. And that just means a lot of energy that I don't think any of us were anticipating.
No, you probably weren't
at this level.
Plus, it's been so long since
Right.
you've done anything like this, so you really had no idea.
Yeah, man, right, exactly.
I think the hardest thing. Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say it's like once upon a time having worked out and then stopping for 20 years, and then like, okay, I guess I'll go back to the gym.
Yeah.
20 years of fear, and now I'm going to the gym.
I think the hardest thing for me has also been like kind of the best, like I was talking about earlier, is just like having to get rid of my like know-it-all attitude about running a festival and like my overconfidence in selling tickets, and like even telling them in the beginning, like the majority of our tickets sell last minute. We might not sell a lot up front. It's just been kind of like adjusting my expectations, and also learning to work with a team of people where like I might get really excited about working with a certain person or a certain band, and then having to back off of that and be like, you know what, this does make more sense. I'm going to go with what the group decided, and kind of picking and choosing like which things I want to fight for. Like, for example, in hiring staffing and everything, like the only thing that I didn't want to budge on was I want to use my stage sound and production people who have done my festival for over 10 years, know how to get bands on and off the stage.
Yeah, it was a lot.
And because I know that's that, and then getting people in and out of the venue safely and in a timely manner are like the two biggest things, like traffic flow and making sure that the bands get on stage like at the time that they're supposed to. So
it's a lot of work.
those are the areas that I was like, you know, I'm going to fight for this. But then as far as a lot of other things, like I'm going to, you know, trust their judgment and the people that they know locally and stuff like that. And so for me, it's been super humbling being in a situation where like I'm not the end all be all person. And it took a minute to like go from being frustrated that like they didn't necessarily instantly trust my judgment to being appreciative of the fact that we're as a team making decisions and doing what we as a group think is best rather than just one of us. Because if everybody just followed what I'm saying based on what I've done in the past, it might not be the same, you know, festival. Or if I had said, you know, oh, I don't know who that band is, why are we adding them? And then they get announced and like 10,000 people across the world, they're all excited about it. I'm like, okay, you know what? But yeah, that's been the most challenging for me, aside obviously from COVID. But even then I feel like we got kind of more time to really put this festival together and create an even bigger event and bigger moment that more people are going to be able to experience. So in a way, that's kind of like a undercover blessing right there.
Yeah, a little bit, right?
Absolutely.
I know that had to be I mean, obviously you guys had no idea this was going to happen, a pandemic.
Well, that was another thing I was wrong about. I'm like, oh no, we'll be back by fall. Don't worry.
Chad. Oh yeah, that's how we were all. Yeah, and we were all feeling that. Like in the like March, April, it was just like, yeah, you know, I was like scheduling.
It'll be good, you know.
And everybody hated Dan for saying that it would be 2021, and now look at us.
Well, I don't think I said that to like May, and I was like, this ain't coming back this year, bro. We're this is Dan was the first one to say
it, and everyone else was like, shut up, dude.
People like texting me like, Dan, really, dude, you really had to say that? And then like Metal Sucks, Metal Injection all picked it up. I'm like, why? I texted Ben from Metal Sucks. I'm like, you really had to do that, huh? You really had to do that, man.
Of all the quotes to quote
Come
me
on. Dude, you're a booking agent.
Right.
I don't care.
No, I think what Mike said is true, that it's that COVID has actually presented us with an opportunity that is a family reunion unlike any other moment in history has ever provided. So it wasn't just Furnace Fest 20 years later. It's Furnace Fest 20 years later, plus the worst year and the weirdest, hardest year of all of our lives, most likely put together. And now we're going to celebrate. So it's like, man, the level of excitement, but also the responsibility and just like the weight that we all feel for this being everything and then some that it's meant to be is very significant.
Yeah, I'm feeling like this might be, I don't know if I'm gonna go, if there's gonna be a show yet that I'm gonna go to before this. There probably will be. But regardless, I think first day I'm definitely gonna start crying when a band plays.
Yeah.
I think we all are.
I literally
no.
had that dream, and I told them the other day, I was like,
Do you?
I just woke up from a dream where like there was this huge like Grammy style video entry of like the path to Furnace Fest, and then the first band
Oh man.
got on stage, and like we all just like were crying. And it's so weird because
Oh, dude,
recently
it's
with all the
gonna
talk
happen.
about like stuff coming back, I've been having like festival dreams and festival nightmares and like show dreams for the first time in a year. And I'm like, I'm not even mad about this. Like, oh man, the headliner didn't show up, and there was a plane crash and a tornado and like all these things in my dreams. I'm like,
Jesus.
sweet, I'm dreaming about music again. Like, it doesn't even matter.
That's so funny.
Dude. Are you guys gonna do? We had another question. It was cool. It was a good one. Is there gonna be any chance of any of the performances being recorded for like, the post up afterwards after the fest? Like, are you guys
Ryan,
thinking about?
you want to take a stab
Yeah,
at this one?
we're still kind of in like the planning stage of that.
Yeah.
Yes, there will be some performances recorded.
Dude,
We're not sure if it'll be a live stream or if it'll be just aired later on.
I would.
We're still
Yeah.
like this month is kind of we're going back and forth with different companies talking different options, but
To see
people
what
will
can
be
work.
able to visually see some of Furnace Fest.
Yeah.
Not all or bands probably.
Yeah. That's a
but
lot of bands.
some of the cool bands. You'll definitely get to see that stuff later.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, there's definitely going to be photographers there and stuff as well. And I'm sure a lot, they're going to be taking video. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of footage from Furnace Fest. Are you getting overloaded with photographer
I was
submissions,
about
Mike?
to say,
Oh my gosh.
these guys are having their first experience with media people. And
Oh,
like,
dude, yeah.
I
I love them all, but
hundreds.
it's
I have
overwhelming,
professional
Hundreds.
equipment. Like,
dude. Yeah.
I know every single person out there with the camera has been dying to take pictures of live music over the last year or whatever. But I just even like the little things that we've discussed about like protocol of like, if we don't think COVID's going to be even close to where it's at now, but there still might be little things like people are still going to have anxiety about being in big crowds and things like that. And like
Yeah.
the artists themselves don't need 900 cameras in their face. Like,
Very true.
we need to have like our team, their team, and then like that's it,
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
but yeah,
We'll
we're
try to
still
keep
gonna
it limited.
we'll still go through that process of submit, and maybe we'll get some cool stuff, because I've been telling them like how important things like this are, like pre-festival coverage, post-festival, and whether it's just for this event and having it documented across the internet, or if we actually do something again in the future or whatever, like we want to have like as much press and attention as possible. Even if the thing sells out tomorrow, like it's still valuable to us.
Oh yeah, no, it really is. I know a lot of people would love to see, people that aren't going to be able to make it would love to see videos, pictures, but even like, me and when I worked for Mike's So What Music Fest, it was like, there'd be so many like he would ask me, you'd ask, hey, is this, this person? They said they know you. And I'd be like, yeah, no, they're good.
Pass for a while.
Yeah.
For a while, like anyone with a camera, we're like, oh, someone, you're good. Someone, and then the bands started doing like lockdowns on the stage. They're like, why do you have 900 people with all access passes? I'm like, I don't know.
I don't know why the fuck we did this.
Johnny's outside selling fake passes to So What. I don't know.
I love that.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So when this is a good one. When you guys first announced bands on the festival, obviously I remember people just like freaking out over it. How did that make you guys feel? Was that shocking?
I bet Chad was relieved.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
He's the main stressed out guy in the group.
Oh my god.
There was a moment like right before everything got better or started getting better. There was a moment where Chad was like, guys, I don't know about this anymore. Like it was, things were looking very bleak, and then there was like no hope. Like we knew vaccines were coming and things like that, but it was just like, we keep pushing this, and like agents are wanting higher deposits now because they haven't been having their bands, and just like all these things going on at once. And it was like literally like a couple days later, he was like, I think it was right before the tickets went back on sale or something, and he saw the reaction. He was like, okay, I was wrong. I'm good. Like,
we're good.
Yeah, I mean, that was the closest.
Sleep.
Yeah, maybe I guess maybe 2 months ago now, where I just felt this overwhelming sense of doom. Like, we're not getting out of this thing. This is the new normal.
Definitely 2 months ago. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
this is like
I was
like,
feeling that way
let's-
too, man.
Yeah.
I was just like, let's give everybody their money back and just
Yeah.
call it a day and be like, well, sorry, we tried and COVID shut us down. And thankfully, so every time we've announced bands, it's kind of ruined my day, honestly, because it's hard to do anything else when it's just the phones blowing up, the
emails,
like socials, the email, just
everything.
you just kind of feel it's like the dopamine shooting around your head like crazy. And it's a super fun, very, very exciting experience.
Yeah.
I want to do it every week, like tomorrow, another wave.
I loved
another wave.
Yeah, I really loved how, like, when you first started announcing bands for, pre-pandemic, it was just like how you like announced bands. It was very exciting because, Ryan would, I talked to Ryan for the most part, and Ryan would only tell me I didn't really know anyone that was on this fucking fest. So and then I saw how you started announcing bands, and I'm like, I'm not going to ask Ryan. Like, I'm like looking forward to this announcement. And you just like post on social media, be like, hey, and then like hours later, here you go.
Yeah.
And I'll be texting my friends like, dude, you see that shit? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's been fun. I feel like that's been, kind of looking back on it, I don't know if anyone else would agree, but it seems as though we've had this genius marketing plan from the start that really was just like us, like, oh, like, let's try, well, hurry, let's announce, we got to do something tomorrow. And then it just like
it just works.
It really just worked, dude.
Genius. But in the moment, it felt so crazy and like haphazard and like, man.
Just like felt like kind of half-assed, but it wasn't.
It's been so weird because like they'll see people commenting like, you need to add this band and this band and stuff like that, and I'm like, that's like the most stressful thing that we get. Like my festival, it's like, these bands suck, this festival's dumb. Like I'm just like, I get all the hate, and I just like laugh at it. Like,
why'd you put this band on it? Yeah.
I treat So What like Riot Fest does, where I'm like, okay, well, you come book the lineup. Like I just talk shit to people.
Yeah, we'll hire you.
But with
for
this,
it.
it's like there's no one. The only comments are probably jokes of like, I've never heard of these bands. Like, and I think it's people that are just like making a joke because it's been like 20 years or something. But like,
for sure,
it's really just been kind of phenomenal and overwhelming every time anything's announced. And I think because of the way that we have announced everything, and especially the way we started, it just keeps people like, hey, you need to add this band, because they're going to add more bands. They've been doing it this whole time. They're going to add that band. You know what I mean?
Probably going to add that one.
Like when people were asking for refunds because of Poison the Well, I was like, just wait a few days.
Yeah, you might want to hold off. I want to hold off before you get that refund.
Yeah. Just hold on a minute. I will have a surprise.
I will say that the community has been overwhelmingly positive, even through the whole COVID and postponing a few times.
Yeah.
I mean, we were pleasantly surprised at how few refunds have been requested, which goes to show that, at the end of the day, this is a special event, and people have been waiting for something like this for so long.
Yeah.
And so they're willing to stick with you, which means a lot to us because, again,
dude, I mean,
if everybody requested refunds, then
that's
this thing
what
would be over.
There was a point where we had to increase the ticket price because there was an error on tickets, and we're like, hey, sorry guys, like Chad's whole thing is super transparency, which has been really good for this festival. And he's like, sorry, like we forgot to add this in. And there were a couple people that were like, do you have a PayPal or Venmo? We can give you the difference. Like, I've never seen that in my life. Like, these people wanted to give us extra money because they thought it was going to like hurt us that they didn't pay the sales tax on it or whatever.
Yeah.
We were handwriting people's checks and sending it to them. Trying to figure out how to get, just because, again, we want to be above board. We want to put on a great event and take care of every single person, even if they need a refund.
Yeah, for sure.
We were getting locked out of our credit card company. And so Chad was like, hey, we'll just send you some PayPal money. Well, I don't have a PayPal. So I'm handwriting checks.
Yeah. What's your address?
and mailing them to like Wisconsin. I'm like, man, this is crazy.
Yeah. Recently, go ahead.
I was just going to say the companies that we've worked with on ticketing and stuff just like everyone else, like they didn't really know how to handle things when like COVID happened, and so they're like,
Oh
well,
yeah.
we can't
all
give all
new.
these refunds, or like if you're still going to do the festival and blah blah blah.
Just
Like
hold
it
them.
was just kind of a runaround, and so we're like, well, we don't want a bad reputation, and these guys are literally handwriting checks.
Yeah, it's exactly. It's like you know, people want their refund. It's like you really do want to give it back to them. It's like
And we
that
understand that it's a time
Yeah.
where you need it. Like we had people
for
that were like,
sure.
hey, I lost a friend. He's not going to be able to make it anymore. Like kind of like
Wow.
the worst case scenarios that like, you know, normally it's like, oh, my friend's grounded. We can't go. I'm like, okay, well, you shouldn't have been an asshole. Like, but with this, like,
Yeah.
there's just so many factors where you just have to be so sensitive and like,
You
especially
do.
with the importance of the festival itself and just knowing that so many
Mhm.
people have waited this long and like they want to go. So if they're telling us there's a valid reason not to go, like we just
You got to
have
just
to
give it
accept
back.
that.
Exactly. No, it's good that you guys were
Well,
that way.
once
I mean,
yeah,
you got to be.
once upon a time, you could attend Furnace Fest for $40 for the
Yeah.
whole thing. You know,
Right.
I think all 2 or 3 days that first year was $40, 50 at the gate maybe. And
Yeah, a little bit more at the
so
gate.
in some ways, it's like we're able to charge a premium for what Furnace Fest delivers, but we're also able to express a level of premium care and concern for everyone who's a fan of this, because that's at the end of the day who we are and
Yeah,
how
for
we
sure.
want to be treated, and the way, you know. So I think at first, the first time we postponed, there was a lot of that, like, wait, am I going to get a refund? And it just kind of, you can sense sort of the frustration, the anger, the like,
Yeah.
the Fire Fest, Furnace
For
Fest is the Fire Fest.
Getting
hardcore.
compared to that.
Oh my God.
There's a group on Facebook called the
Stop.
Furnace Fire Fest or something.
What?
Yeah. That was another thing, like,
or something. Yeah.
and making
What?
sure that when we re-announced that we had all the bands, I told them how important it was that, like,
yeah.
because I remember like firsthand seeing Firefest and being like, this is so cool, I want to go, blah,
Oh
blah,
yeah,
blah. And
man.
then
I remember
slowly
it all.
like Blink 182 was like, hey, we're not going, and this band's like, hey, we're not playing it. So I was like,
Oh,
we need to
dude,
make
yeah.
sure to get as many of these bands back as possible and then add some.
Yeah, and then add some on top,
Make
right?
it even more appealing for people, and like kind of almost a thank you for people that bought early. It's like, okay, you still get to see all these bands you wanted to see, and now we're going to throw Taking Back Sunday, Kill Switch, and some other bands on top.
Exactly. Yeah, which is incredible that you got those bands too. Which one?
I don't know how they did it. I'll never book a lineup this good ever. I
mean-
should retire after this.
Well, I mean, the truth is, not the three of us just sat behind our desks, twiddled our thumbs, and Mike did everything. That's the reality.
No,
That's what he's not
almost,
telling you right now.
almost every time I'm like, Chad, you're nicer than me, and like you have a history with these people. So just you hit up the agent and be like, yeah, we'd really like them involved. If not, no biggie. Like, do it your
very
way.
subtle.
But yeah, I mean, like the festival lineup's so good. Like the only way to ever beat it is like every time that we've joked around about doing it again or like brought it
Yeah.
up, we're always like, all right, Jimmy Eat World and Deftones and like these big bands have to go on top. And I'm only saying that because DeFonce is the biggest Deftones fan.
If you guys got Deftones, I would have been blown away by that.
You're in good company.
That would be.
I mean, like that
would have been
that's
wild.
like our
dude.
mindset of like you can't really beat this unless you
No.
go like that much bigger at some point. And like it's just it's so crazy that the whole lineup is coming together. And again, with COVID, I think that's been a big advantage for getting the bands to commit to doing it again and to getting new bands, because
Yeah.
it's still going to be like a little early for them to be doing full tours.
For
And so
sure.
they're like 2 years out from having done any kind of tours. I mean, Taking Back Sunday's last tour, I believe, was like fall
Man.
2018, 2019.
Probably,
So it's been a minute. And so we're, at first we were thinking like, oh, we could just, really make this happen in May and we'll be the first ones back. And now I still think being in September, we're like the first ones back for this niche, because everything
for
else
this
is
niche,
just like
yeah.
5 of these bands with everybody
Yeah.
that's on the radio on top of it.
Which
So it's not really like, I mean, there's nothing like this anyway, but
no, there hasn't been anything like this in how long? It's been a
since
while.
Chad did it last time. This reminds me of like
Hellfest
Sounds
and
of the,
shit, yeah.
Sounds of the Underground days, like
Yeah.
back when that was a tour, and the 10 bands for $10 and
Oh, 10
those
for
types
10.
of sick tours.
That was dope tour. That was really sick. So which bands are doing album plays? I know Poison the Well is.
It's a great
Yeah.
question.
Well,
Is there some still discussing it?
Isn't Juliana Theory doing an album?
Yeah, Juliana Theory is doing Emotion is Dead. I
That's
think
right.
May is doing the Everglow.
Oh man, I love that record by May.
Darkest, which one is Darkest Hour doing?
Oh,
Undoing Ruin is the name of it.
Undoing Ruin. Yeah. They're doing that one, right?
Yep. And Living Sacrifice is going to play songs from like a couple of old albums, which is
Oh
cool.
shit, that's fucking
Oh,
rad.
this lineup is so good. I keep forgetting certain bands are on it. I forgot May
Dude,
was on it. Like
I
every
know,
time I
I-
look at the flyer, I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I was looking at it today, and I was like, oh shit, they're on it. Which bands did you guys have to, I guess, replace? How many? I mean, are you
I'm
don't?
trying to-
Not many.
Not many.
No,
It was just
not-
like a
I
few,
mean,
right?
Yeah, just a few.
Jeremy
Maybe-
Enig's not back. Avail's not back. There's a couple, but
Yeah,
It was
maybe
one of the
5
four.
at the most.
It was like 5, right? Yeah, because I didn't
Yeah.
see that many. Like when I look at it, I'm like, I don't see that many changes.
Yeah, that's true. It was actually every time we made a change to the scheduling, it was almost unanimous. Like we'll be there, no problem. We
Really?
get it.
Yeah, everyone. Yeah, even when I talked to Zay on Evergreen, they're like, yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
don't worry
We'll
about
be
it. It's
there.
cool. We'll go.
It's, yeah.
We had a good question. How do I best prepare my wife for the amount of money I'm going to spend at merch? On merch.
Save that stimmy check.
Yeah, dude. See,
Hey,
I
it's
mean,
free money.
it really is, man. I'm probably
Well,
just gonna do the same thing.
between now and Furnace Fest.
Yeah, just keep that stimulus check to the side like you never got it, and
Put it in
then
Bitcoin right now.
put
Cash
it.
it out at the festival, and
Yeah.
then you have even more merch money.
Mhm.
I mean, I think, the fairest way to treat it would be to find what that thing is that your spouse is most into, and then just be like, look,
Here we go.
I'm going to spend $3,000 on merch, but I'm going to get you $3,000 worth of dirt for your garden or whatever, whatever the thing is that they're into. So,
It's gonna be
I don't
yeah.
know. I think it's going to need to be a vacation that's not
yeah,
a
there you go.
sweaty mess of a metal festival.
It really is, dude.
After Furnace Fest, we'll take you to somewhere.
Yeah.
We'll go a little bit further. We'll go to Florida. The beaches will
Yeah.
be nice by then.
Yeah. Exactly.
Down to
When I
Dusty
keep-
Beach, we had-
I keep hearing about band members who are bringing their wives or their wives and kids to Furnace Fest, and I'm just
Really?
I feel kind of bad, I feel a little bit guilty. Like I mean, it's going to be incredible, but I don't know if it's the kind of place where it's just like a family, family hang. But
Yeah.
we'll find out.
I guess so. They will too.
Yep.
How
All right,
was
so we need a playground sponsor.
playground
Uh,
sponsor?
We need to get back to the
a corgi
the
petting zoo.
Petting
A
zoo.
Corgi petting
Corgi
zoo.
petting zoo.
Yeah, oh, that's a good.
I'm
idea.
bringing. I think me and my girlfriend are gonna drive. Probably because it's like, what is it? 9 hours from us, Mike?
Yeah. Yep.
No, further.
Yeah, dude, 9
Is
hours.
it? I'm pretty sure it's.
8.5 maybe. Depending
Yeah.
on
Well, how many
fast you're
times?
driving.
Yeah, and how many times you stop and stuff. I stop.
From us? No.
Yeah, I think.
How
it
long
New
is it,
Orleans
Jess?
is New Orleans is at least 9 hours from here. And
Is it? Oh wait, you
Birmingham's
know what?
further.
Birmingham, I think is 13.
Really?
yeah, that's a chunk.
Yeah, let me check real quick. I
I've
think
driven
it's
from Dallas to
no,
Tallahassee.
Mike. It's 9 hours and 7 minutes
I was gonna say, man, I'm pretty sure it's 9.
from
Wow.
Dallas?
from Dallas.
dude,
Yeah.
If it was a stock, I would have gone very bullish on it right now, but I kind of hesitated.
Six 638 miles.
There you go.
That's
See?
crazy.
9 hours.
Yeah, that's an easy drive, dude. Get up, leave at like 7 a.m. Easy.
It'll be a hard drive home.
Oh, it's gonna hurt. I'm gonna be very sore. So let's go through each of your guys. What's your favorite band? This is a question from Steph Beachy in the chat. What is your favorite band on the lineup? We'll start with Johnny.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm glad you didn't pick me because
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
man.
looking
I'll
at the
try.
flyer.
I'm gonna try to answer it too.
We only can choose one.
You're
Like, I mean, I have
One
like a.
band.
I
have a
guess we
top-
could do like 3 each.
Yeah, let's do.
Want to do 3 each?
Yeah. So
I'm gonna look at it right now.
for me, it's going to be Stretch Armstrong, Hot Water Music, and Face to Face are going to be the
Oh,
top
yeah.
3 bands that I want to see.
There we go.
I want to see them all though.
Yeah, I know. It's like there's so many, dude. What about you, Ryan?
I got to do 5. Sorry.
It's fine. We can push it to 5. It's fine.
Dave's Acre has been one of my favorite bands for a long time. They haven't played in over 10 years.
Jeez.
Luxury, I never got to see play. They haven't played in 18 years.
Wow.
Stretch Armstrong, still my all-time favorite hardcore band.
Oh yeah.
Converge, I always love some Converge.
Oh yeah.
And
Same.
Cave-In is still always a life favorite of mine. So those 5 are definitely my tippy top.
Yeah.
And I'll put Zayo in there too.
Yeah, we got those. We'll throw Zayo in there.
They're getting a new album the last couple of days. It's so good.
It's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
What about you, Mike?
I mean, for me, it's probably obvious, but like Taking Back Sunday, Under Oath, and Every Time I Die. But seeing them in this setting, in this element, and the songs that they're probably going to play versus what they would normally play. And then the Juliana Theory doing that album, because they were one of the first bands that I randomly discovered at a different show. Like when I would go to the Old Door, they were playing a show and I was like, oh my God, I love this band. I bought all their CDs, all their merch. Like they became one of my favorite bands instantly. And then they just put out a record I hated and I stopped paying attention to it. So the fact that they're doing this album,
it's a big deal.
I get to see it is incredible, because that's the energy and everything that I had when I first saw it. But I mean, I would be doing a big disservice to not say Under Oath, because they're the whole reason that I'm even involved in this festival.
Yeah. Nice. What about you, Chad?
I would say, Dan, for me, I'm gonna go with the underdogs just to keep it fair. And because I struggle so much. But on Friday, I'm truly thrilled to see Astronoid. I love that band.
It's an incredible band.
On Saturday would be Code 7, and Sunday will be Turnstile. I know they're not an underdog, but I feel like
Turnstile is awesome live.
Those 3 are just, I think are going to be really, really special sets for me.
Yeah, I think
like You Left Standing and Narcissist, are those going to be like?
I mean, that's the problem. It's like,
dude,
everybody on this list is there. Like, it's too hard.
Started their careers, sort of, so
it's like, okay, I guess.
I'm trying to think on my end too. Like even like,
who are yours?
Oh man, Day
Converge
One
for Dan.
Converge for sure, but it's like, it's so hard because I love Terminal so much, and to see them again is going to be amazing.
Yep,
I absolutely love that fucking band. I mean, Converge for sure is probably the top on that day, with Terminal right underneath. Oh, dude, even from it's crazy. Anyway, Saturday, Beloved for sure, Beloved, and then Sunday. Oh man, Sunday's wild one too. Shit. Dude, Judas Cradle I used to love when I was younger. That's amazing. When I saw that name and I was like, really? I was like, okay. So probably Judas Cradle would be wild to see.
That's cool.
I never saw them, and I was like, I love that band. I used to love them. Yeah.
Yeah, they're great. Clay's gonna love hearing that.
It's gonna be a wild. I don't even know how I'm gonna see all these bands.
I know. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. So no, I'll throw a couple of underdogs in too, or not underdogs, but just kind of sleepers, man. I can't wait to see Defeater.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
For
the record, lyrically, I don't know many bands who are doing it better than them lyrically. If you read through their lyrics, amazing.
I used to be. I mean, I'm still a Defeater fan, but I used to love, like, for like a few years, they were like my favorite.
Atheist in Foxholes is one of the best songs. It's so good.
Dude,
but also like so Defeater and then End. I cannot wait.
End is sick, dude.
I've always said like they may put on the craziest show.
It's gonna be wild.
Yeah. So Dillinger was like Old Furnace Fest. The Dillinger set was by far the sickest, most intense, crazy set.
Especially Dillinger back then was like times 100. You know,
they were setting stuff on fire, throwing stuff into the pit. It was great. I was up on the concrete wall, just standing there going, I'm not even getting down there.
Yeah, so. this place might burn down.
Yeah, but I'm super excited to see End, man.
I
just have a feeling that those guys are gonna absolutely destroy.
I think they're gonna win over people too, especially a lot of like the older crowd that probably has never heard of them.
Mm-hmm.
you know? And plus they're all older dudes too. Like, you know, they're all like pretty sure, yeah, they're all over 30, like 35 and older. So it's like, it's going to be wild. But even like Life in Your Way, I used to be a huge fan of Life in Your Way. I mean,
They're gonna be great.
it's going to be, I mean, Hope's Fall. There's so many good ones. We can just go through all of them.
Yeah, I mean, we could literally just list every band, you know. So
That's insane.
But let me throw one out there.
Go.
Nobody's talking about it. I think it's just me and 2 other guys on Facebook. Is Bad Cop, Bad Cop. Like
I remember this band.
What
day are they on?
Super in.
Oh, right there,
Sunday.
Yeah.
In punk rock. But those ladies, they kill, man. They're so good, and I cannot wait to see them live. So
I feel like
definitely check them out.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna have to. I feel like I've heard that name before.
Dan, did you ever listen to Bludgeon?
Yeah, Bludgeon. They are playing, right? Wait, where are
They're
they?
playing on Saturday, and the first time I saw them, you'll appreciate this. It was about 21 years ago, and they were playing right before Zayo
Oh
in Atlanta.
shit!
And then the
Back to
openers,
back.
the bands that played before them were Under Oath, and then Ludacris before they were Norma
Ludacris, yeah, dude. Wow.
Jean.
Yeah, I
saw
remember.
them a couple times in 2000, and I never saw them again, but I got like really into them.
Dude, I remember seeing Under Oath at this venue in Poughkeepsie, New York called Club Crandall, 150 cap room. It was Under Oath. I forget who else played it. But that was, you know, right when, you know, Dallas was in the band. It was probably like 2002, maybe. And there was probably 50 people there.
Yeah.
And they just, yeah. So seeing that band, I grew up on Under Oath. Grew up on a lot of these bands, Shalaloot and all of them.
Yeah.
So is there going to be any like restrictions as far as someone was asking as far as moshing or crowd surfing and stuff goes as of right now?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Yeah.
That's I mean, you know, one of the challenges, the original Furnace Fest,
Uh-huh.
I don't even think we knew what barricades were, let alone that we
Not
should
back
have
then.
them,
Yeah, no way.
you know? And I think stage diving was really like, well,
Oh man.
our conventional security people have never even seen stage diving, let alone dealt with it. So it's like, as long as everyone's surviving, I mean, I think the worst thing that happened was the Atlanta Godfrey youth crew filling up their socks with pennies and then going after a couple of skinheads. But
But
I
that
think
was so crazy, by the way.
yeah, that was crazy.
Man. Holy
But
shit.
but I think, you know, I think that that's still an area that we've got to cover. You know, Furnace Fest now we're not. Well, I guess I would have been 20 something.
Yeah.
But we're not 17-year-olds being dropped off by our parents. We're now like, we actually have careers and jobs and in other
Insurance
words,
policies.
Yeah,
Insurance.
some level of
As far as the barricades are concerned,
Yeah.
you know, I actually think it's in, you know, our insurance policy that we have to have.
You have to
barricades.
have them, right? Yeah.
We're still working those things out. I know a couple of hardcore bands were like, "We're not playing if there's barricades," and I'm like, "Oh my god! Like, it's legal. It's insurance. We can't."
Yeah.
do
It's not how it was when we were
I know.
kids.
As far as restrictions, there's
years
not going to be
ago.
that
Yeah.
many. There's not going to be that many.
Yeah, I don't think there. Yeah.
We'll have an oxygen tent for all the old guys who think they still got it.
Yeah.
You know,
Mike's gonna have to get an oxygen sponsor. We're gonna need an oxygen company, whatever those are. What are they called? And they're gonna have to be there for us.
Massage therapist to stretch us out.
Yeah, chiropractor.
There's those IV companies now that you can go and get fluids.
Yeah, like they have that shit in Vegas. I was gonna do it
Yeah.
one time because I felt like death the next day.
Yeah.
And my
Well,
friend's
by the
like,
way,
for hangovers.
yeah,
Did anyone notice that Mike just pieced out on us?
yeah, he's
Yeah.
done.
Probably had to
One.
pee.
He's probably had to pee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I haven't had to go yet.
Well, I've got to go. I've been a trooper though, just sticking with it.
Well, hey, if you gotta go, go.
Yeah, man. You're in your hotel room, right? Are you in Austin?
Yeah, I'm in Austin.
Oh, you're in
hanging out the
Austin?
hotel. Yeah.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
I just moved to Dallas from Austin a month ago.
Oh, cool, man. Both great cities.
No, they are, man. I love
Yeah.
Austin. I like living in Dallas a little better though. Well, a lot better. More
I can
friends here.
understand. Yeah.
Let's see. What are some of your? Oh, we already asked that one. What did you guys, or who did you guys sought out to get for the fest but couldn't seal the deal? I guess like what was like the one band that you really wanted to get
Well, strong arm.
Strong Arm was the one,
Yeah,
right?
Strong Arm was a big one.
We put the full
Yeah.
court press on those guys. Love them to death. They just couldn't get it.
Where are they
put it
from?
Together.
Are they spread out now?
Fort Lauderdale.
They
Well,
are.
half of them live here in Nashville.
Nashville.
They're all going to be there. They're basically Further Seems Forever with a different singer.
That's right.
So, Strong Arm broke up, and then Chris Carrabba came in, and they started Further Seems Forever. He left
Yes.
afterward, but
Yeah,
so it's those guys.
those
I
guys.
totally
and
forgot about that.
Yeah, Avail was a big bummer that they
Avail.
couldn't do the new dates because, I mean, not only were they a fantastic punk band, but they had so much, like, I don't know, so much influence in the hardcore scene as well. And so since those guys can't do it, we're bummed out. But, you know, one other band that, Dan, I wonder if you know who this band is that we've tried times to get is a band called Discount.
Discount. It sounds familiar, but I don't think
Yeah, so Allison
Discount. I
Mossart,
gotta
you know who
look.
Allison Mossart is?
No. Wait.
She's in Dead Weather.
Oh, I know Dead Weather.
Yeah, so she's in Dead Weather. And so she was the
Okay.
lead singer of a punk band that was so good. They always toured with like Avail and,
Yeah.
you know, all these great punk rock bands. But we've tried to get a Discount reunion. They're one of those sleeper punk bands that like had a lot of influence and a lot of bands loved them.
Yeah, they were like a band's band.
Yeah, I think Rolling Stone, like maybe in the mid 2000s, did like the top 100 punk albums of all time, and
And they were in it.
Caution, I think Caution was one of them. It's probably pretty low, but
Yeah.
so those are the three that I was super bummed that we couldn't put together. But there were so many other ones.
Oh,
Yeah,
dude.
for me, it would have been Elliot
Yeah.
at the
I
top of
remember
the
Elliot.
list.
We tried super hard.
Yeah, we
Oh,
asked
we
them
did.
to do a False Cathedrals album play, cut front to back, and it just wasn't in the cards. But yeah, it was. I mean, to me, I think it's amazing that, generally speaking, we at least were able to have conversations with band members or agents or managers or people, you know, working with the band or once worked with the band, and I take that as a pretty high privilege to maybe not necessarily have gotten everybody that we had set out to, but at least to have had a
Conversation.
to
Yeah.
say, hey, here's what we're thinking. What do you think? And then to have an open dialogue about it, I feel like that's
pretty cool.
it's huge. Yeah.
No, it definitely is. I mean, so when you guys went and got talked to Sloss Furnace, were they okay with this right away? They were like down with it. Is it the same people?
I think it is, generally speaking, the same, or a lot of the same people. And they do events there. They do concerts and like crazy shows there all the time. So I mean, this
This ain't nothing. Yeah.
it is a weird venue, but this is not outside of their
No.
wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Right.
It's turned into like a city park now. It's under the city of Birmingham.
I gotcha. Okay.
Me and Johnny went down there and had a meeting with them. Like, yeah, just sign this. And I mean, they were just so chill about us coming in there. And
It was that.
like, those dates work, no problem. Do your thing. And then we were talking about who was going to handle different things as far as like security or stuff. And we thought they were going to want to like be in charge. Like, if you guys can just handle everything, we'd be great. Like, oh, that's cool.
So they're just like, yeah, just do whatever you want. It sounds like when Mike did So Wet Fest at the stadium, the ballpark. They were just
Had
like,
to
it was
get everything from porta potties and fencing and security.
But they gave you like a really good amount of freedom though, because it was like, yeah,
Too much.
you can
too
use
much
all these
freedom.
too much. You can use all these suites for the bands. It was just like one big ass party. Literally, it turned into.
So here's a question that I see that's pretty important. Somebody's asking about COVID passports
saw
are
that.
required.
Is that even a thing yet?
It's not, and
No.
it's not going to be a thing at the festival. So.
I think if that becomes a thing, I think it's just gonna.
I don't think it will.
I don't think it's gonna be mandatory like everywhere. Like if a business says this is our policy,
Yep.
then they can.
From my
enforce
understanding, it's basically just currently a way for certain companies to take advantage of a situation and charge a festival like us a bunch of money to, incorporate something like this, and they would check everything. And
Yeah.
So
I don't.
For the record, we would highly encourage you to get vaccinated.
Yeah.
Okay? So,
I'm going tomorrow.
don't hear us say
Nice.
anything. We would highly encourage you to get vaccinated, but you will not need a vaccination passport to get into the festival. No way, shape, or form.
No.
Boom.
but go get it. You might as well. It's free.
Yeah, get the vaccine, please.
It was like I was trying to get it. Like I was going through like Vaccine Finder, and it would always direct me to CVS. And every time I tried to make an appointment with them, it was always like there's none available. And then I got a haircut yesterday by Mike and me and Mike's friend Brody, and Brody was just like, "Dude, you just go to Fair Park." I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Yeah, you just go to Fair Park. Here's the website." And then I did while I was getting a haircut, I filled everything out, and then I got home and I got a text message, and they were like, "Okay, answer these questions." Answered all of them. "Okay, when do you want your appointment?" And I was like, "All right, Friday, 10 a.m." It was that easy. I was like, "Dude, what the fuck?"
Nice.
That's great.
Yeah, I don't know why that website wouldn't point me in the direction of them.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense, but it's getting easier to get it, which is nice.
It is. It's a great thing.
So how sold out is the fest? Like what's the percentage at now? Because before it was like 60-something% sold out.
99%, man.
Wait, what?
I'm kidding.
I was like, wait, what?
99%. You better go.
Holy shit! Get your tickets.
We just crossed the 70% line.
Wow.
Last
We
night
busted through the 70% line, which is so cool.
Yeah.
So amazing.
I remember when you guys first announced the fest, Mike hit me up and he was just like, "Dude, I can't believe how many tickets we sold in the first it was like the first half hour, I think, or hour."
Yeah.
And I remember I was walking my dog and I'm like, "What? Are you kidding me?" He's like, "No."
Of course you were.
I'm always walking my dog. And it was just, it's mind blowing, but I understand it. I mean, I tell people too, like even today when I posted about doing this today and I posted the flyer on my Facebook, a few people that I know didn't even know about the fest. I was like, "What do you mean you didn't know? But
How do you not know?
How do you not know?" It's like, but they were just like, "Is this real? Are you pranking me? Like, is this?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "You never heard of Furnace Fest?" No. I'm like, well, "Go Google it. Like you'll see, like go to images, you'll see the old flyers." I'm like, "This is just, they're bringing it back, for this year." Do you guys think you do it again after this, or you're just going to talk about that after the fest happens?
Ask us Monday morning.
Monday morning.
Yeah. I mean, to me, an encouraging start would be for all four of us to unanimously agree that the number one most consistently asked question at Furnace Fest was, will there be another year?
Yeah.
And if that's the top question, then to me, it's like once we get through it, and then if everyone's like, well, that's the question, then I think we have to go, well, can we do it again? Does it make sense? Where are we at? But I think that from my perspective, there was never, ever a consideration in my heart beyond this one time, until maybe about a month ago when it was kind of like, we just re-announced this, and almost, I think our refund rate was like 2% or less.
Okay. Wow.
To me, it's just like, man, we
that's incredible.
We have some seriously committed friends and family that are part of this, and I don't know. So I guess I think that, to me, my headspace is still, let's just pull off this. We have so much ahead of us just now, but
yeah, for sure. That's how I would feel about
Yeah.
Let's get through this. Let's pull it off, execute it, and then let's see how we're feeling after.
Right.
My opinion, as the one person that's never actually been to a Furnace Fest and is constantly just lucky to be here, is I think that it would be incredible. And I think that there will be thousands of people wishing that they could have gone, thousands of people that did go and had a great time.
Yeah.
But at first, to me, it was really cool for it to be, a one-time like reunion type deal. But given COVID and given, people being, I guess, shy to commit and things like that, and it will sell out before everyone that gets a ticket gets to go, I think it gives even more of a story to do it again versus just like, I mean, obviously, like the four of us are only going to do something if we're passionate about it and we want to do it and we want to do it right. But it's more of a story of like keeping it going and including more people than like, oh yeah, we can make money again. You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
There's a lot more compelling story.
More than just that.
Like, wow, this was a really cool experience. It'd be great to do it again. There's other, artists that we didn't get a book, like, Glassjaw was so close, and some of these other artists, and like, maybe that happens again. But I definitely think that everybody is feeling a lot better about the current Furnace Fest than they may have been like a month or two ago. And I think as we get through this and realize how big of an undertaking it is, even with all the experience that we do have, that'll kind of better decide it for everybody. I'm already on the position of like, I want to do something there. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
if you guys don't want to do something, then I would bring a show there. Like watching old My Chemical Romance videos and stuff from playing there, just it's wild.
Yeah, when you guys like first announced the fest, I went back like finding YouTube videos of like the bands that played it, and I was just like, this place looks sweet. Like this is nuts. It really is, because like I always wanted to go to Hellfest, right? Because I'm from New York, so like I never got to go to it. And then also like even hearing about Furnace Fest back then, I was like, well, I'm not gonna be able, I ain't gonna be able to go to Alabama for this. But like to have like a festival like that again in the States would be awesome. It's like something we need, because I was having this conversation with the band I work with the other like last week, this band Misery Index. Mark, the guitarist, and he's like, yo, what fests do we have in the States? And I'm like, well, you got like the Maryland Death Fest, which is cool. Cali Death Fest, which is like the same thing, but in California. And then you got like the bigger, mainstream rock fests that Danny Wimmer does, which are cool too. But I was like, there's just nothing like what we had when we were younger. There's nothing like a Hellfest or anything like that at all anymore. And it'd be cool to have something like that back again. Like like Furnace Fest was, I compared Furnace to Hellfest. It was the same vein, You guys were, all had like pretty much getting the same bands. Like one was just in New York in the north, and one was in the south.
Sure. Right. Yeah, and festivals have changed so much. I mean, like, Furnace Fest was really, truly about the community and the music. And that was it. There was no frills. There were no, there was not much to it other than that. Community, bands, music. Yeah. And we've taken that same approach. Like, it's not like it's not a Bonnaroo or a Coachella where there's, interactive whatever, flower crowns and glitter and like foam parties, It's not,
they're all great suggestions though.
Hey, we're up for a foam party.
Yeah, okay? We might do
or a silent disco, but it's really, at the end of the day, it's about the music and it's about the community. And if all those things really come together and we decide to do a second one, I'm all in. I would be excited. But when we announced this, Dan, this is super cool. And this was one of the driving factors behind what we're doing is that we got multiple emails from individuals saying, and this is crazy, I can't believe it. Like when Chad would forward me the email, or I would check our Facebook, all the messages and read some of these things, it would blow my mind. But, like guys saying, hey, I can't tell you how encouraged I am by this. I'm at the lowest point in my life, so low, so depressed that I'm even contemplating ending my own life, but this is amazing. This is giving me something to look for. Thank you.
Wow.
And we've gotten multiple messages like that. And that was like, man, at the end of the day, if we make money, if we don't, if all these bands come together and we have a great event, really at the end of the day, it's about those types of stories. Now, I'm the cheesy one.
No, you're right though, man.
So is Chad though.
Yeah.
But, it's really about those experiences, man.
Yeah. Well, and that's to Johnny's point. I mean, that's how Johnny hooked me. He kept kind of like pestering me about Furnace Fest, but when I think at some point just helped me see that there might be friends that I haven't seen in a long, long time that I may not ever get the chance to see again.
Yeah.
Like once I begin kind of like putting my brain space and my heart into that idea, it was like, okay, we got to do this.
Yeah, we have to do this. You're right.
Yeah, this is a family reunion. It has to happen. So then it just became a no-brainer. And like, how do we pull it off and
get it together, right?
Get it together.
First Fest back in the day was every bit as much about the community as it was the music.
Yeah.
I was living in Chattanooga at the time, and every weekend I'd either drive to Atlanta or Nashville, sometimes Birmingham, back home to Tallahassee, just going to shows, and everybody was sleeping on each other's couches.
Yeah.
We'd all over at Denny's or a Waffle House at 2 a.m. after the show. But then every summer, everybody from all of those towns was in one spot.
Yeah.
And like all of us that drove everywhere to see each other, we all got to see each other
in one spot. Yeah.
all the North Carolina people, everybody from the South Florida people, all the bands like New Found Glory and Further and Last Year and all those bands. It was just such an amazing friendship reunion.
Yeah. I mean,
bands like awesome, but like all the hangout time
dude,
was
the hangout time.
Yeah.
It's what's great about it. Even like friends of mine from New York and shit are like, I have to go. Like, I may not see these people ever again that I used to go to, see at festivals or whatever, see at these shows, like, or see these bands again, some that are, getting back together for this.
Yeah. I used to never join Facebook groups and interact like that,
Yeah.
And, but got sucked into this, Furnace Fest Facebook friends group. And now I check it every day. And it's been amazing because the small group of people who put that together now are doing, actually one of them is helping us on the social media side. And,
oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And so she's helping us, which we're super stoked about that. But now they're like doing little meetups all over the country, Texas and
really
one in Birmingham. I think they did one in Chicago and one in the Carolinas. Now they're doing meetups and they're just all super stoked about. I think somebody got married who met in the group, if I remember that correctly. So, I think somebody got married.
What?
It's insane. So Furnace Fest, just bringing people
together. Who will get engaged at Furnace Fest this year?
Yeah.
That would be something. It is. It probably will happen. Remember, Mike, at So What Fest, that couple got engaged during I think it was Power Trip? No, was it?
Yeah.
Was it Power Trip? It
yeah,
was.
That's still going around.
Yeah. The video of this dude literally proposing to his girlfriend in the pit.
Nice.
During Power Trip.
Wow.
I was at the final Stretch Armstrong show. I think it was 2010 in Jacksonville. And I won't say the person's name because they're not together anymore, but one of the guys from one of the bands proposed to his girlfriend during Stretch's set.
Wow.
That's so fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
I love that. Someone did say in chat, I wanted to read this out. It's not a question. They just said, I just want to thank this team for putting together the most incredible lineup imaginable. I have been waking up every day with a little extra strut in my step.
Wow.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and that's why we've done it, and it's like Johnny was saying, the cheese factor between us, but the genuine heartfelt connection to others, just providing people with a little bit of extra hope and something to look forward to, I think has been even the pulling out little last minute surprises, announcing terror and light the torch and like, hey, poison the well, by the way, PS, poison the well.
Yeah.
It's just, now looking back, those are little moments to just say, oh, hey, how can we make this even better?
Right.
How can we exceed expectations on every front? And that's the job that we have at hand, the task at hand.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, even Poison the Well playing opposite of December is just going to be legendary.
Yeah, it's
hands
gonna be
down.
so crazy.
I can't even. The crowd is going to go off.
I saw them do it last January, and
you went to the LA show? I tried getting tickets, I couldn't get them.
Oh man,
I was right on the dot. I set a reminder right on the dot, and it was gone. I'm like, okay, not going. Not going.
Well, thankfully
now I'm going. Yeah.
We'll have the opportunity
with a ton of other bands.
Yeah.
Well, guys, this has been great to get to know more about you all, about the fest, and just everything. I mean, a lot of people are looking forward to it. This is probably going to be, it could be my first show back. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm definitely going to cry.
Yep, same.
We'll cry together.
I think we're all just going to cry. Yeah. We're going to walk up to each other. You crying too?
Yeah.
Like, this isn't hard crying.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, everybody here, definitely go buy some tickets if you're trying to go. They're like a little bit past it just hit 70% sold out.
Well, we busted through 70%. So,
oh man, oh god. All right, everyone, furnacefest.us, not .com, .us, to go buy tickets. Definitely get them. After every episode that I do on here, I like to rate somebody, which essentially is just us bringing everybody that's here into another stream. One of them right now, it's a new Twitch account. They've been doing it a couple times. Mike knows the Stray from the Path guys. It's Tom from Stray from the Path and their drummer Craig. They started this Twitch account called Awful Hotel. I have not checked out the stream yet, but I love the name. So they're streaming right now, and I think it would be pretty rad to go raid those guys. If you're looking for another band, get Stray from the Path. That would be rad. But again, thank you so much for doing this with me.
Yeah, thanks, Dan.
And I can't
been
wait.
amazing.
I can't wait to meet you guys and hang out
Yeah,
Same.
absolutely.
and cry together.
Yeah. You'll have at least 4 shoulders to choose from.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, thanks again. We're gonna go raid Tom and Craig from Stray from the Path. It's their new Twitch account that they're doing every week, a show on it every week. I don't know exactly what it's about, but it's titled Awful Hotel. So let's go check it out. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Goodbye.
Thanks, Dan.
See you
Have
guys.
a great day.
You too, guys.
See you, everybody.
Later. All right, here we go. There we go. All right, cool, guys.